Oh man, you know, see, this is you know the reason why you know you wanna get done with prediction videos as fast as you can, but when you've got a card so stacked like this, I mean, you just can't get everything you want to get out in such a short amount of time. At least for me, because these are all really tough fights to predict. Actually, so basically, I'm just basically uh, speaking whatever comes to my mind first. So all of y'all, bear with me. I know this is kind of stretched out, but I'm sorry. I'm just so excited for this card. It's a lot of good fights. And a lot of these fights can go either way. I mean, it doesn't matter if Tito Ortiz is washed up. He could come out and just shock us all and put on, the best fight that he's ever did in his career and just completely overwhelm Ryan Bader. Who knows? Um, same thing, with uh, Vanderlei Silva. I mean, Vanderlei Silva can just come out, basically hitting the ground running. Just basically come and, just buzz, just steamroll Lieben. Who knows? You know, but anyway, forgive me, y'all. Forgive me, y'all. This is UFC 132, man. Like, for real. Anyway, so this is my final prediction video for the main event. Dominic Cruz, Uriah Faber. This is a rematch, like I said in the previous video, from 2007. As we all know, Dominic Cruz was green, and really unskilled. I know that's not a word, but whatever. He was basically raw and unskilled, so he was kind of out of his element when he fought Faber the first time. That's why Faber was able to beat him so effortlessly with that guillotine choke. But now a few years have passed by, and now here we are in 2011, and Dominic Cruz is the guy on top. So this has really all come full circle. Dominic Cruz has been waiting for this fight, for a long, long time, and he really wants to come out and prove to the world that the first fight with Faber was just a fluke. He hadn't been in the sport that long. He was a relative newcomer. He was one of the fastest rising stars in WEC at the time. So, he really didn't have a chance to really learn the whole MMA system, so to speak. But now that he's the UFC bantamweight champion, he has learned the system. He's developed some great skills, and he's looked nothing shy of magnificent. In his past fights leading up to him winning the title, not too long ago. So there you go. But for Cruz, I think Cruz is going to want to probably outclass, but then again at the same time stop Uriah Faber, whether it be by TKO or submission. I do think Dominic Cruz will be the bigger man. I think slightly the faster man and possibly the better wrestler. Or if not the better wrestler, the better submission fighter. As for Faber, Faber will no doubt be the better striker. He's got way more weapons than Cruz to, in the fight or whatnot. But I think what this is going to come down to is basically um, what else does Uriah Faber have to show? I mean, we know he's quick. We know he's got a good flying knee. You know, we know he's got a good guillotine choke. But what else does he have? So this is more so going to be about what can Uriah Faber show as opposed to, you know, what Dominic Cruz can dish out. So basically, for Cruz, I think what he's going to want to do is he just basically wants to beat Uriah Faber in every area, whether it be striking, whether it be grappling. You know, and I think he can do that. You know, he's got just this pogo stick, you know, lightning bug, you know, just I don't know, uh, annoying speed about himself. You know, I mean, you really can't explain it. You know, it's just basically this unorthodox, you know, Muhammad Ali shuffle like movement, you know, and it frustrates opponents so much, you know. And Uriah Faber sits up here and talks about, you know, how Dominique has improved, I should say, over the years, but he's still not dangerous. And I'm just saying to myself, like, really? Have you seen his last few fights? And when I heard that from Faber, you know, that kind of, you know, rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, you know, Faber sounds like he's kind of cocky, like he just doesn't respect Dominique Cruz's skills. And I think that's what probably might end up costing him this fight, is his ego. You know, just because he got by on pure talent for so many years, as opposed to Dominique Cruz, who actually went and honed his craft and actually had the right preparation, and, you know, actually developing the skills that he has now. You know, so if Faber carries that ego with him in the UFC 132, he's going to get humiliated royally. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that Dominic Cruz is just going to be too quick. You know, he's just going to be, you know, he's going to be too quick and too crafty for Faber. I think he's going to beat him, like, to the punch, I guess you can call it, in every area. I mean, the only way Faber really has a chance of winning this fight is if Dominic Cruz makes a mistake, which he did in the first fight, and just decides to rush in and just basically go to town on Uriah Faber. I mean, that's the only way I could see Uriah winning this fight, is if Dominic Cruz gets careless and lets the emotion of the fight get the best of him, and, you know, he just bum rushes Faber, and, you know, Faber capitalizes on it and gets him in that guillotine choke. But for the most part of the fight, I can see Dominic Cruz just basically, you know, outclassing him pretty much. You know, I mean, because Dominic Cruz does throw more, does, you know, throw more kicks than Uriah Faber. You know, he throws more jabs than Uriah Faber. He throws more combinations than Uriah Faber. I don't think I've ever seen Uriah Faber hardly throw a leg kick. I mean, I've seen it in some of his fights, but most of his fights he doesn't throw leg kicks. He just straight boxes. So, yeah. But I think what Faber's gonna have to do is, I think he's going to have to look to take Dominic Cruz down and, you know, basically try to submit him, pretty much, because Dominic Cruz is so slick and so quick that you know, if you don't get a hold of him and keep him, you know, in the position where you have him, you know, he's gonna get out. So Uriah Faber needs to take Dominick Cruz down and control him and eventually look to submit him. That's basically how I see Uriah winning the fight. Basically, all Dominick Cruz needs to do is he needs to stay active, just land, you know, often and effectively. And, you know, I know probably he's going to want to look to take Faber down as well, which I think he can and will. And, you know, basically, you know, just look to beat him up. You know, I mean, he might not, you know, finish Faber, but, you know, the least he could do is try to beat him up. So I could definitely see that happening. And I just say Dominick Cruz, I'm not going to say he's going to dominate this fight because, you know, Faber, you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You know, Faber is a former featherweight champion. You know, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You know, this is Uriah Faber we're talking about, the California kid. So so this you know, this is not going to be a dominant fight. It's going to be a close fight. I think Faber's going to have his moments, you know, where even at times he's going to be the quicker man, and you know, he may outstrike Cruz at times. You know, we've seen Cruz, you know, take a beating before. You know, with Joey Benavidez, you know, he took a horrible beating in that fight, but still managed to come out and win the fight. So, you know, I think the same thing is going to happen here. I think Faber's going to bust him up a little, and I think that Cruz is going to, you know, just continue to, you know, use the skills that he has, and I think he's going to win the fight by, I say by split decision. I say he'll win it by split decision. It's going to be a very close fight. You know, it's going to be a lot of, you know, breathtaking moments. You know, Faber might drop Cruz a couple of times. You know, Cruz might, you know, might even drop Faber a couple of times. Who knows? But I can definitely see Dominick Cruz edging this one out and retaining his UFC bantamweight title officially. So I'm going with Dominick Cruz decision. Alright, well, finally got through it, y'all. That was really difficult. Like I said, these fights are so hard to predict. You know, they could go either way. You know, this is a stacked UFC card. Probably one of the most stacked UFC cards so far. Like I said, hopefully this lives up, you know, to all the expectation. And, you know, it'll be a good way to, you know, send us into the 4th of July and everything. And, you know, I just hope that every fight on the marquee, you know, lives up to the, you know, lives up to the purpose, pretty much. Oh yeah, one more thing before I go. I appreciate all the comments about my video regarding Chael Sonnen's suspension and his soon-to-be, I should say, UFC return. So I really appreciate that. Keep those comments coming. I love chatting with you all and hearing what's on y'all's mind and what y'all really think about Chael Sonnen's suspension ending, and when he makes his return to the UFC, you know, what fights is he going to get? You know, how many wins away is he from getting back at Anderson Silva again, or, you know, whoever the UFC middleweight champion may be? You know, so thanks a lot for that. But anyway, enjoy the fights tomorrow. I know I will. You know, it's going to be great, man. UFC 132. This is what we live for. This is why we are MMA fans. Peace.